So here we go. The immediate context of the test match defeat is now over. We've all had 1 hour to kind of soak it in. We have seen what Rohit Sharma has said in the press conference. Good of him to try and shield his players. He has said Ravi Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja cannot be expected to run through a unit. He has said obviously you have to bat for 3 days, but there are plenty of questions that continue to be unanswered. Question number one that continue to be unanswered is why would you prepare a wicket like that? That answer we did not get. The second question that we did not get an answer to is this is not the first time that India played poorly against spin. This is becoming an endemic issue. This is a collective failure again after a string of such failures over the last several years. So while Rohit Sharma tries to kind of maintain a sense of calm that this is a good side, we at some point in time it had to be broken, we are asking the hard questions on this particular show. Question number one, and I will go to all my guests on this. Question number one: Rohit, Gautam, and Virat Shastri. This kind of rubbish again has to stop. Let us first put the thing to rest. All of these social media trolls have come forward and started saying when Virat and Shastri lost, we were there to criticize. Why are you not criticizing Rohit and Gautam? Shomik Chakraborty, it is not about Rohit and Gautam versus Virat and Shastri. It is about India failing. It is about an Indian team losing. This Rohit versus Virat nonsense once and for all has to stop. Shomik Chakraborty first.
Absolutely. And see, Virat and Ravi Bhai, that is the past. There is no point moving into the past. We have Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir combination right now, and we have to talk about that. Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir combination hasn't yet gelled well to start with. In Sri Lanka, the white ball series, the ODI series, they lost. And here, I mean, I'm not, if, I mean, we shall we take the Bangladesh series win seriously? Obviously, winning in 2 days in Kanpur was a fantastic effort. But then again, when the steeper challenge came, they have faltered, and tactically they have looked a little naive compared to their Kiwis counterparts. That is number one. So I still, but then again, it takes time for any new coach. For any new coach, irrespective of sport, it takes time to get into the group. It's not easy. If I'm allowed to draw a football analogy, I mean, see, look at Manchester United. Uh, David Moyes took over the reins from Alex Ferguson, and then what happened? It takes time across any sport. Across any sport, it takes time, and from that perspective, I think we must cut some slack. It is obviously after a home series loss after 12 years, there will be some knee-jerk reactions, but we must come some slack. The fact of the matter is that the biggest part was the execution. Execution was the biggest part, and the execution part was not spot on. That is why India lost that series. Yes, some terrible decisions have been made, like winning the toss in Bangalore, batting first. Here in Pune, I mean, going for a rank turner, knowing full well that this batting unit is not that confident against playing in as far as playing spin on rank turners. Some poor decisions have been made, but I think we need to cut some slack. I think Gautam should be judged from the next WTC cycle, because this is the end of the road for some of the players. Some careers will end after the Australia series, and a new cycle will begin. And Gautam Gambhir has been brought to take charge of the Indian team, specifically looking into that transition. So we should judge Gautam Gambhir once the new cycle begins, once a new set of players come. And as far as Rohit is concerned, once again, I mean, 37, 38, even the greatest players in the game, that's the twilight zone. So Rohit is heading into a twilight zone as a batsman. And the thing is that I think very soon we will see a change of guard.
I think Shomik is a bit lenient there, Atru. I mean, you're going into the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which is your unofficial World Championship, 5 Test matches. Gautam Gambhir took charge in June, July, which is basically 1 year till the next cycle. So you are saying we will give you a 1 year run to get accustomed. No one has that kind of patience anymore. Were you a little disappointed with Rohit Gautam? Why Rohit saying New Zealand mastered the conditions better? They played sweeps and reverse sweeps. Unfortunately, we discussed it but weren't able to execute. It is on the batters out there in the middle. Come on. On home conditions, you needed to have a plan B. Sarfaraz Khan did not have a plan B. I mean, these kind of answers, good that you want to take it on your chin and protect your players. But some of these answers really don't make much sense. After your thoughts?
I don't blame individuals for this. I think if I have to blame anybody, I don't like the word blaming, but if I have to hold somebody responsible, I would say the team management. And as I said earlier, that preparing this kind of a pitch was a blunder because by doing that, we basically negated the difference between the sides. I mean, New Zealand in Indian conditions are not supposed to be a strong side, as we know that they came to India after losing 2-0 in Sri Lanka, where they didn't put up much of a fight. So by preparing a pitch like this over here, we actually reduce the difference between the two sides. As we have seen that in the
After
England
can
series,
you increase your volume? A lot of people are saying that তোমার ভলিউমটা একটু লো। তুমি যদি ভলিউমটাকে একটু চেক করার চেষ্টা করো, by that time I'll go to Gargi and Bharat. If you can sort of sort your volume out a little bit, can you speak once? After
is it better now?
much better. এটা ছাড়ো, এটা রাখো, বলো।
Right, right. So what I think is that by preparing a pitch like this, India negated their own advantage. And as we had seen in against England earlier this year, that India won that series 4-1 by playing on normal pitches, which didn't overtly assist spin. So by preparing a pitch like this over here, India increased New Zealand's chances and reduced theirs. So the natural gap between the sides, if it's like this, it became like this. So that is where India missed a trick big time, and we know that our batters are not as proficient against spin bowling as the previous generation used to be. So we definitely reduced our own strengths, and by in doing so played into the hands of the New Zealanders. Buria.
Bharat Ramraj, Gargi Raut, both of you. I mean, multiple questions are coming, but the straight one. I mean, let me give you one of Rohit's comments. I will quote rather than sort of trying to paraphrase, because I was reading all of the Rohit Sharma comments from the press conference on Ashwin and Jadeja. Bharat Ramraj, they know it. Every game they play, they are expected to help us win. That's not fair. They know what they have done, what expectations are. They both have had huge role in the last 12 years. Sometimes they're allowed to have bad games. They aren't going to run through batting units every time. It's a collective unit. It has to be shared among everyone. Washington had a great game. We are proud of that. True, but also they were below par. Do we need to accept that? Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, one has to accept that. Obviously, if you look at how Mitchell Sander bowled, he bowled it slower through the air, used the crease, used the angles, and that is how he got his wickets. So what really surprised me was Ashwin and Jadeja won so many test matches for India in India. They couldn't gauge the pace of the wicket. They couldn't gauge what exactly works on this particular wicket. That is something that really confused me, because they played in this condition for so long that you would expect them to understand what really works in a certain condition in Indian conditions. So that is something that really surprised me, because Mitchell Sander basically outbowled Jadeja and Ashwin in terms of how he gauged the wicket and how he used the conditions. So definitely it was a very below par performance, and obviously they're experienced enough to introspect and think ahead.
You're on mute, sir.
Gargi, put Atrio's mic on mute because otherwise the echo is coming. Yeah. Question for you, Gargi. Rohit, quote, I am not going to overreact. You need to have a quiet chat about what they need to do. I'm going to support the players who are going to play in Australia for the first time. Keep it calm and make them feel they belong here. Good words, but important also to introspect and not sort of let this pass saying, oh, it's par for the course. It's not par for the course, and it's important to take that into account as well. Because if it doesn't happen in Australia, then there are serious problems that Indian Test cricket will face. Gargi Rao.
Yeah, first of all, where credit is due, I think it's very mature of Rohit Sharma to take, all the responsibility and accountability that there is to take with this, and the way that he said that he is going to speak to the youngsters calmly who are going to play in Australia for the first time. That's a very good call from his side, but at the same time, you don't want this to be taken lightly. In that case, this is not something that is to be overlooked. This is not something, we call that game against the 46 all out against Bangladesh, and sorry, not Bangladesh, New Zealand, an aberration. We said this was a one-off, but you don't want that to be a repeat. And with two tests on the trot, the way that we've played, the approach that we've seen, that needs to change. While I, commend Rohit Sharma for the way that he's taking all of this, there needs to be some serious introspection in the way that things are being approached right now and the tactical decisions are being taken.
Shomik, I mean, Gargi made the thing about Bangladesh and New Zealand 46, but the truth is, against Bangladesh also it was 144 for 6. And Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja bailed you out. Couple of years back in Dhaka, it was Ravichandran Ashwin and the middle lower order that bailed you out. Time and again in the last few years, it has been Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar Patel, ABC, the middle order and the lower middle order that has bailed you out. The top order, if we were able to put that stat out, has consistently failed you. That is a fact. Bharat Ramraj is actually going to do a copy. But the fact, Shomik and Atro both, before I go to Bharat on this, it is a fact that the top order has let us down time and again. Shomik first before I go to Bharat and Atro.
I mean, absolutely, and stats don't lie. See, I mean, even the last home series against Australia, without Akshar's batting exploits, lower down the order, we probably would have lost that series. So there is a lack of consistency, and somehow it has become a routine. Like we start celebrating 50s and 60s. You have been covering cricket for so many years now. Like even in the previous generation, we never counted 50s, 60s as big scores. I mean, if Sachin Tendulkar were out for 52, we never said that Sachin scored and made a telling contribution. We expected hundreds from those guys. So where are those big runs? Where are those daddy hundreds? Yashasvi Jaiswal scored a few against England, but overall the top order has been a failure, and it is down to mainly Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. If you look at their average over the past couple of years or 2 years, irrespective of home or away, you will see there is a massive dip in terms of their batting average, and that is the reason why our top order has failed to deliver.
Shubhan Chakraborty joins us. He attended the Rohit Sharma press conference. So, Shubhan, to you straight up. Good to see Rohit come and take the questions, but I found his answers defensive. I found a lot of his answers very defensive. I don't want to overreact. Ashwin and Jadeja cannot run through. They have the 70-30 ratio, good and bad. The truth of the matter is Bangalore winning the toss, batting first, Howler. Pune preparing the wicket, wrong call. There have been multiple such wrong calls right through this series from both Rohit and Gautam. He has to take the call. The batting has overall failed us. Whether it is Rohit himself, whether it is Virat, whether it is Sarafraz this test, whether it is Gill, India doesn't look good as a test side. Shubhan Chakraborty, your thoughts on the Rohit Sharma press conference and these questions?
Absolutely, Boria. I think he did try to distract, or he tried to overlap the questions, the strong questions, the hard questions that were asked of him, and you don't expect a captain or a coach to come and throw their players under the bus straight away after such a defeat. And that's natural. I think we have been seeing this in not only in cricket but in sports, that after a tough defeat, you don't see the leaders come and throw the players under the bus. And having said that, he did accept that, Ashwin, Jadeja, they both are having poor series, if I have to put it that way. He did accept that Rohit Sharma, the senior guys, Rohit, Virat, Ashwin, Jadeja, these are the big fours. Bumrah, okay, I can still understand there was nothing much to do in this pitch. That's why he did say that Akashdeep and Bumrah did not come into play. But I found his answer when he was asked that why not play four spinners in place of three spinners, because you are ultimately playing with three bowlers in this conditions. But he did say that, we were expecting the pitch to stay low. We were expecting the ball to reverse. That did not happen, and that's why we were sticking to Ashwin, Jadeja, and Washington Sundar with the ball. But largely, it was a very diplomatic press conference where he did not throw anyone under the bus. But at the same time, he did take some sort of accountability. He did say that I am hurting after this defeat. I'm not thinking about WTC final, but right now I am hurting about this defeat. But having said that, Boria, I think. All of us have watched enough cricket. You, Asroda, Shomit have watched more cricket than a few of us here. This is the arguably the weakest batting unit in terms of playing spin, in terms of having patience, in terms of having a clear game plan when things are not going their way. Of course, you expect India to bounce back or come hard in Mumbai, but at the same time, in terms of applicability, in terms of having a plan B when things are not going in your favor, I think this is the weakest batting lineup in that way. Okay, I can still understand this team is under transition. There are plenty of young boys, 25, 26, 23, 22, 21, but this can't be an excuse, because you are ultimately picking the team. You are ultimately playing for India. Being a youngster can be an excuse in certain circumstances, but not if you are repeatedly failing. And what right now is happening is players are repeatedly failing. Hats off to Yashasvi Jaiswal for providing that start. If a 22, 23-year can provide that kind of start, then the onus should have been on Rohit, Virat, Rishabh Pant. That run out, I think, was the game changer. I don't even the senior journalists in the press box, they were baffled to see in a test match two of the people, two of the biggest game changers in Indian cricket, trying to take a cheeky single in test cricket on day 3 in an afternoon where you have plenty of overs to play. I think that was the turning point of the game. But it is a very, very disappointing series defeat, Boryada, and I think this will go down as one of the darkest series. Teams have lost in the past as well, but this is going to be the one of the darkest series, but because New Zealand are not top 2 or top 3 teams, they are number 6 test ranked team in ICC ranking. So that is where it is hurting the most. And if Mitchell Santner can run through this defense, then I think they are in big trouble in Australia.
Some good
Shubhan,
points.
did
Very,
Rohit
very
say
good points
anything
made by
about
Shubham. Very good. Yeah, Shomik. Yeah, bolo.
Shubhan, did Rohit say anything about why such collapses have been becoming a pattern? I mean, 46 all out, then
Yes.
54 for 7, 157 all out, and then the second innings. Why such collapses have been becoming a pattern? As you rightly
He was
mentioned,
yes.
this, this batting unit doesn't trust themselves, in the sense they press the panic button. I mean, at the very outset of danger, they press the panic button. But did Rohit say anything about the batting collapses?
And that's why I mentioned the word vague in some of the Rohit's answer, because he was asked about this pattern of collapses of players not being able to handle spin bowling in Indian conditions. India did struggle against England earlier this season. Bangladesh also posed some challenge with their bowling, but he did say that again. It was a very diplomatic, very vague answer that we have played good cricket for 12, 13 years. We have won so many series, and you can have a couple of odd games or odd bad games. This was his answer on collapses, and I that's why I mentioned the word vague. It was very, very diplomatic, very trying to erode the question, trying to go past the question, and not being on point of what should have been the answer. The answer actually should have been that there is a deficiency of skill set. If we talk about Lakshman, Dravid, Saurav Ganguly against spin, Sachin Tendulkar, they all had. And I was talking to a very senior journalist named Sunandan Lele. Everyone knows know about you. And I asked him, what is the pattern? Like Sachin Tendulkar, he was very close to Sachin Tendulkar. What is the pattern that you are seeing with this batch of players and that batch of players? And he did mention the word innovation. Sachin used to play blindfolded. Sachin used to call Siraj Bautule, etc., to make him prepare against spin bowling whenever there was a tough opposition coming to India. But right now, people are staying overseas. They are doing advertisement. They are doing sponsor meetings. They are thinking about IPL. I think IPL can also play a part. I did talk about this in our Hindi live yesterday, that during this test match you have a lot of players that are going to be under the hammer, or they are undergoing serious discussions or serious talks with their respective franchises in IPL. A lot of things are going in your background. And when the first test match will be happening in Australia, in Perth, there will be an IPL auction going on. So the scheduling itself is a questionable, and I'm pretty sure right now, after this match ends, it has ended, and 2-0 series, despite 2-0 series defeat, there will be a few players who are on the verge of having showdown talks with their respective franchisees. So you can take it as a point, but I think there's a lot of things going on in the background in terms of IPL, and that is why I think there's a bit of you. If I have to put it that way, players were not 100% concentrated in this game, and that's why we saw lapse of concentration, lapse of applicability in this game, and that is due to many things. That could be due to many things.
You see, this is not new. I mean, if you think about it, and I remember a live that Gideon Haig and I had done in 2008. That was the first time the IPL was happening, and India had just about lost that Monkey Gate Test match or something like that had happened, and auction dates were announced or whatever exactly at that point in time. So this is not new in Indian cricket, what Shubhayan is telling me. But as professional sports people, this is now part and parcel, sponsorship
Right.
deals and all of these things. If you are not able to focus on match day, then you are not a very good
No,
professional player.
I'm talking about preparation phase for a series. Preparation phase of a series. 2 weeks,
But
3 weeks. Give
Shubham,
your time. Go to the stadium. Have some net sessions. Call some specialist bowlers you want to tackle on. Work on your deficiency.
that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That when we compared, and Sachin, because I know
Hmm.
Sachin called Narendra Hirwani, he dug that thing on leg stump and with Shane Warne in 1998 and prepared with Narendra Hirwani and Lakshman Shivaramakrishnan, and
Right.
that is how he trained himself. And when I asked him, I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, because I knew and we got that double hundred for Mumbai against Australia, and everybody was celebrating Sachin's first class double hundred. He did not celebrate." And I said, "Why did you not celebrate?" He said, "Because I knew Shane Warne had not come round the wicket." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Exactly. What is there to celebrate? The opponent's greatest bowler has not come round the wicket to me. So I knew when we were under pressure, he will come round the wicket. And I knew that is going to be my challenge. So there was nothing to celebrate." So Sachin Tendulkar was one, two, three, four steps ahead of Shane Warne. And you know what he said? He said, "What is Warney's biggest strength? His biggest strength is when he comes round the wicket, he will take the ball away from my vision. He will bowl from that angle. It will take it away from my vision. I had to change my stance. I changed my stance. I opened up mid wicket. I opened up square leg. I attacked him. I took that leg stump guard. I prepared with Shivarama Krishnan and Hirwani. And you must listen to Sachin Tendulkar. You will feel, oh wow, this is what, when you guys come back, I have all of these recordings on this computer, 100 hours of Sachin. We must listen to it together to understand the mindset of that man. One time we were talking about Muthaiya Muralidharan, and Muthaiya Muralidharan was bowling, and we were actually having cake in his house, and he says, "That's a dusra." I said, "How do you know? The commentators have not said anything." He said, "No, but I'm telling you, it's a dusra." And I started laughing. The commentators had not called it. Nobody had called it. He just bowled it. And this guy was munching his cake. And he says, "That's a dusra." And the moment, and he started telling me, "Look, this is how you understand." And he shows his hand. That is Sachin Tendulkar. I don't see a modern batsman who would do this. You ask Sunandan Lele. Go ask Sunandan Lele how Sachin Tendulkar prepared for an overseas series. He would get the ball wet in ready conditions, get his usual guys, Jagdish Chavan, that gang, Atul Ranade, Jagdish Chavan, the usual fellows, and bowl to him from 12 meters, 12 feet. So with wet ball. in rainy conditions so that he could get himself ready. That is why I keep saying, let us not compare anyone with Sachin Tendulkar, because you won't get this. You won't get this kind of madness. Maybe at some point in time we must play some of this Sachin preparation for our viewers. But going to Bharat Ramraj and Gargi Raut, Rohit has repeatedly said, Bharat, there is no need to press the panic button. And as Shubhan said, he's protected his boys, and he's right in doing so, because in the Olympics, we protested when Prakash Padukone said a lot of things about Lakshya Sen. But are you worried? Going into Australia, are you worried about this Indian setup, as Shubhan said he is?
Yeah, obviously India should be worried. First of all, Rohit Sharma himself has been getting out for cheap scores, and has been getting out in a similar pattern. You go back 1 year ago, Kagiso Rabada got it to angle in, got it to straighten, cleaned him up. Then James Anderson got it to angle in, got it to straighten and clean him up. Same thing happened with Ben Stokes and Dharamsala. Got it to angle in and got it to got it to straighten and clean him up. And it happened here as well. Team Southie has done it. Pat Cummins has done it. So there's a pattern to Rohit Sharma's dismissals, and Australia obviously would be watching that as well. Virat Kohli obviously also has been going through a bad patch, especially against spinners. And obviously, as once Martin Cross said, once you get older, your body slows down. This is what I guess he said. 1 second. The one thing that he can't escape from, he talked about Tendulkar when he got out to Team Southie. The one thing that he can't escape from is that the body is naturally slowing down. Firstly, the back and hamstrings are probably 10% less flexible, and his agility and speed down about that much too. So this is something that's happening to Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma as well, because they are 35, 36, 37, nearing 36, 37. So obviously their bodies are slowing down, the reflexes are slowing down. So it's a big worry from the batting perspective. Even if you look at someone like Sarfraz Khan, his greatest strength is shots. He can fluster the opponents, but his technique has always been found wanting. Even Ranji Trophy, when Vidwat Kavarappa looks for the nip packer, he gets out LBW. When Matt Fisher looks for the nip packer, he gets out LBW in the Lions game. And even with a few other youngsters, technique is very much a concern. So look at India's batting lineup, then there are problems. Even if you look at India's pace attack, no Mohammad Shami now for the tour of Australia. Mohammad Siraj has been inconsistent. Then they have picked Prasidh Krishna and Harshit Rana, two tall pace bowlers. Obviously, they hit the pitch hard, but they're very inexperienced in terms of playing Test cricket. So, going into Australia, India have enough problems. Let it be in pace bowling department, let it be in the batting lineup, and even maybe in the spin bowling department, going by how Jadeja and Ashwin bowled in the options.
Gargi, can you put up some of the stats? Because we need to take a lot of the stats are interesting ones. Put up one by one. Gargi, you take this. You take this. I mean, Virat Kohli versus spin in Test since 2022. Against leg spin, not faced. Against off spin, 310 runs, 9 dismissals. Left arm orthodox, 255, 8 dismissals. All spinners, 565 runs with an average of 33.2. 17 dismissals for your premier batsman Virat Kohli since 2022 in Test match cricket. Gargi Rao, take that.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, these aren't the stats you want to see ahead of a tour like Australia, but I think these stats kind of manifested themselves into this series as well. Clearly, Kohli has not been, he's been average against spin. Look at that average, 33.2 against all spinners. Virat Kohli is at one point, still I think with reputation and legacy behind him, is your number one batter. That's not what you want to see. These are not the stats you want to see. And it's a problem that runs deep. Like you mentioned earlier as well, Sarfaraz Khan, who was touted as the next batter who can tackle on spin. We didn't really see that in this Test match either, because how can Mitchell Santner come in and take that many wickets?
One second, Gargi.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the stat. You made the point about Kohli. Let me take it
Yeah.
to Atreo. Atreo, 33.2. When your career average is still 48, 49. So it's a 16-run drop for a period of close to 2 years or more against spin. Atra Mukhopadhyay, thoughts? Mute. Gargi, can you please? Yeah, true.
Yes, it's a very remarkable piece of statistic, and it's not something that it's not something new. We have seen this. We had seen this in the past when in the shorter over formats, Kohli used to get out to leg spinners. I think that's when I mean that's what drew our attention towards this shortcoming, and which has become all the more telling over the last few years. And yes, it's a I mean, I'm not saying it's a concern, but it's a fact. So, and which is there for everybody to see. And well, I in this test, I wouldn't read too much into this test because of the 40 wickets, only one was taken by a medium pacer. Right in this Pune test, one was a run out, and 38 wickets were taken by the by the spinners. So this test match is an aberration. But the statistics that we saw just now is a very telling one, which shows that there is some serious inadequacy against spin bowling, and which has been increasing over the last few years. So it's a something that's well known. And Kohli is not getting younger. It's not as if he can go back to his coach and address this problem and come back stronger. I think he's possibly beyond that stage. So he's a great player. It's for him to address this. And in Australia, we all know that there will be Nathan Lyon. Thankfully, there won't be two spinners. And this is something that the Indian team management will be really concerned about going ahead. I mean, not just the Australia tour, but beyond that as well.
Correct. And Shubhain, I know you've got to go back to the press box, but before I let you go, basis what we have seen of Sarfaraz Khan. Sarfaraz Khan, very suspect against the second new ball, Matt Henry and Tim Southee in that first test. Looked to get out almost every ball. This particular test match, he did not have a plan B against Mitchell Santner or the New Zealand spinners. Is it going to be KL Rahul or Sarfaraz Khan for you at number 6? For me, having seen what we have of Sarfaraz Khan, I'm sorry, I would not have the confidence of playing Sarfaraz Khan in Perth. What about you?
That's his home ground. That's where he has scored a majority of his runs. So I think that's where his batting is suited the most. Of course. And today I was
No, no,
flabbergasted to see Sarfar
I didn't say Mumbai. I didn't say Mumbai. I'm saying
in
in
Australia.
the test match. Yes.
In Australia, of course, no doubt, KL Rahul has to start Sarfaraz Khan. In the IPL also, we saw Mark Wood troubling him with high pace uh, at with the short of the length deliveries, and he struggled there. He struggled in the IPL as well. Okay, Test cricket, I understand it. It's a game with lot of balls, lot of patience. You can leave, you can duck, you can survive that kind of spell. But there's clear deficiency or clear lack of ability to handle high pace, and Australians will come with high pace. They won't bowl you 132 or 135. They will bowl you above 140. Be it Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, or Scott Boland. They will come hard at you, and that is where I think although KL Rahul also averages 20 in Australia, he hasn't done really well in Australia in terms of runs or consistent runs. But at this moment, looking at the squad, I would still prefer KL Rahul ahead of Sarfaraz Khan in Australia. Having said that, I was flabbergasted to see Sarfaraz Khan, who scored a 150 in the last game at number 7 today. I mean, he's perhaps your best player of the spin after Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rishabh Pant, or even better than them. He has an average of 80 against spin bowling across his first class cricket, whatever he has played, and in 8 innings, in 8 or 9 innings, whatever he has played in international cricket. So you have to give Sarfaraz Khan the best batter with best average, the maximum deliveries against the bowlers like Mitchell Santner. Okay, Mitchell Santner did trouble him and got him out pretty early today. But to send him at number 7, I think that was something uh, I could not really fathom. Uh, they wanted to stick with left and right hand combination with what we could perceive. But still, I think Sarfaraz Khan should have batted ahead. After I think Washington Sundar, Sarfaraz Khan should have walked in and give some sort of try to try to give some sort of stability to that batting position. Why I am saying this? Because the way he bats, he troubles the spinners. He breaks their pattern. He has a lot of unconventional shots, sweeps, reverse sweeps, paddles. He breaks the conventional planning of the opposition team, which he did in Bangalore. And Tom Latham did accept that they were put under pressure by his unorthodox shot making. But today, I think it was too late for Sarfaraz Khan to walk in at number 7 and try to save that game or survive for long with tail just behind him. So I think in this series, Boryada, every move that the Indian team management has done, be it calling Akash Dev into this match, playing three spinners in Bangalore, I think everything has fallen flat. Everything has gone wrong, and India would want to forget these two matches and win the Mumbai test, because if we look ahead in WTC cycle, they have to win Mumbai. Otherwise, we have to stop dreaming about WTC final.
Okay, Shubhan, I'll let you go. I'll let you go back to
Thank
the
you.
press box and find your copy. Rohit Juglan, yesterday you were optimistic. Dagi, can you put Athros thing on mute again? Rohit, you were optimistic. Was it optimism, or were you really confident that no, there is a chance? I mean, because I really want to understand, because you follow your cricket close. What was it that was giving you confidence when most of us felt, nah, this team is not good enough? I understand the roller point for a couple of hours, but what gave you the confidence to think? कल आप जो बोल रहे थे कि नहीं हम देख सकते हैं, किसी के पास से कुछ आ सकता है, बिकॉज हम सबको ये उम्मीद से ही जीते हैं रोहित, और मैं भी आज सुबह सोच रहा था क्या ये हो सकता है, क्या कोई 2-3 लोग हाथ उठाएंगे? आप कहां से ये बोल रहे थे, मुझे थोड़ा सा समझाइए।
नहीं, ऑब्वियसली अगर आप 96 फॉर 1 हो तो आप बिल्कुल सोच सकते हो। आपके क्रिकेटर्स ने आपको ये उम्मीद दी थी कि यू कैन कंप्लीटली थिंक ऑफ दिस। और जैसा मैंने कहा, इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि यार आप वो रोल कर दोगे, रोलर डाल दोगे और उसके बाद आपको 1-1.5 घंटा विकेट में कोई वो डीमंस नहीं दिखेंगे उस तरीके से। अगर आप लास्ट तक भी जाओगे, यू नो, इफ यू मतलब अगर हम देखें, पूरा दिन का गेम भी देखें, तो क्या बहुत बार कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि हमारे बैटर्स बिल्कुल ही आउटस्मार्ट कर दिया उनके स्पिनर्स ने? क्या कोई बहुत ऐसी गजब की गेंदबाजी हुई है? क्या हमने गलतियां नहीं करी? क्या ऋषभ पंत का डिसमिसल एक बहुत ही, मतलब जिसे आप कहें कि बहुत ही बड़ी बेवकूफी नहीं थी, नोइंग की अगर आपको ये पता है कि एक शख्स जिसका अभी 6 महीने पहले एसीएल की जो 6 महीने पहले लौट रहा है एक इतनी बड़ी सर्जरी के बाद, और जो अभी पिछले टेस्ट मैच में पूरा टेस्ट मैच नहीं खेला है, उसके साथ आप एक इतना चीकी सिंगल ले रहे हो। वो ऋषभ पंत की गलती है, वो विराट कोहली की गलती है। दुनिया इसमें 2 भागों में बटी हुई है कि वो इसकी गलती है, उसकी गलती है। मैं कह रहा हूं गलती किसी की भी हो, कॉस्ट तो हमें करा है ना। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि क्या ये विकेट अर्न किए बहुत ज्यादा मिच सैंटनर ने? सरफराज खान वाला बॉल थोड़ा सा हम कह सकते हैं कि ठीक है, थोड़ा सा एक ऐसा बॉल था जिसे आप एक बढ़िया गेंद कह सकते हो। अदरवाइज इस पूरी की पूरी इनिंग्स में आप देखो, जिस वक्त पर यशस्वी जायसवाल खेल रहे थे, जब हम 96 फॉर 1 थे, उम्मीद को मतलब आप बेचने लगे थे ये चीज की कर देगा इंडिया, शायद कर सकता है, इस चीज को कर सकता है। मैं ये बिल्कुल भी नहीं कहूंगा कि मेरा ऑप्टिमिज्म जो वो खोखला था। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद थी कि इंडिया कर सकता है ये गेम, क्योंकि आपके पास ये बैटर्स हैं। और अगर आप इनमें से देखो तो ऐसा नहीं है कि स्पिनर्स के खिलाफ सबका ही, आप शुभमन गिल का एवरेज देखिए स्पिनर्स के अगेंस्ट, शुभमन गिल का सेकंड इनिंग्स का एवरेज देखिए, ऋषभ पंत का सेकंड इनिंग्स का एवरेज देखिए। ये सारे खिलाड़ी अगर आप पिछले कुछ समय में देखेंगे तो सेकंड इनिंग्स में ये चीजें कर चुके हैं। ऑब्वियसली विकेट्स थोड़ा थोड़ा अलग अलग जगहों पर अलग अलग तरह से थे, बट द बिग थिंग इज कि आप और मैंने बस ये सोचा था कि अगर थोड़ा सा कंट्रीब्यूशन रोहित या विराट की तरफ से मिल जाएगा तो हम इस गेम में आ जाएंगे किसी ना किसी तरीके से। बट जैसा मैंने कहा कि जैसे ही आपने देखा कि रोहित शर्मा और शुभमन गिल और यशस्वी जायसवाल आउट होते हैं, सडनली आप एक पूरे साइकिल स्टैंड में जैसे आप एक साइकिल गिराते हो उस तरीके से सब गिर गए। तो मेरा ऑप्टिमिज्म खोखला नहीं था। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद थी कि 96 फॉर 1 के बाद तो और उम्मीद बढ़ गई थी कि अगर अगले सेशन में हम 6 के रन रेट से नहीं 3 3.5 के रन रेट से भी जाएंगे तो भी हम अगर 1 या 2 विकेट कॉस्ट करते हैं तो भी हम इस चेज में बने रहेंगे। बट उसके बाद जो हुआ वो आपको पता है। सो मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि नहीं ये टीम जीत ही नहीं सकती थी, और ऐसा भी नहीं हुआ है कुछ कि न्यूजीलैंड ने बहुत ही कमाल की गेंदबाजी कर दी है। मैं मानता हूं सैंटनर के अगर आप जो स्टैट्स देखेंगे, बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं यार उसने फर्स्ट क्लास में 3 कभी फाइफर नहीं लिया, कभी ये नहीं, उसके नंबर्स कभी भी जस्टिफाई नहीं करेंगे आपको कि वो कितनी बढ़िया गेंदबाजी करता है। इज अ गुड बॉलर, वो हमें मानना पड़ेगा। बट ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने फाइफर कभी लिया ही नहीं था तो यहां आके फाइफर कैसे ले लिया, ये गलत बात है। उसने जिस तरह की गेंदबाजी करी है वो सबसे बढ़िया गेंदबाजी करी है, आपको मानना पड़ेगा। और वो चीज आपके बॉलर्स नहीं कर पाए। और जिस तरह की अटैकिंग बैटिंग जो रोहित ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कहा कि पैडल रिवर्स उनकी फील्ड को हम पूरी तरीके से स्कैटर कर दें, ये कोशिश हमने भी करी उनका सही चल गया, हमारा सही नहीं चला. That's all about it मेरे हिसाब से. तो मैं तो ये नहीं कहूंगा कि ये टीम ये टेस्ट मैच नहीं जीत सकती थी. ये टीम ऐसे टेस्ट मैचेस जीत सकती है, सब हो सकता है. आज नहीं हुआ, दैट्स इट.
Shomik, final round of comments from all of you. Rohit is saying we could have from 96 for 1, but for having watched Shubman, he was not looking confident against spin. Jaiswal was. Each time Jaiswal was on strike, one was giving, he was giving us the confidence that yes, but Shubman against the left arm spin was not looking confident from the very start of his innings. And Rohit is absolutely right. He used the word Bevakufi. I thought brain fade, Bevakufi, foolishness, whatever you want to call that run out. And that was the run out that kind of turned the game. Because if there were two players you were banking on, one was Jaiswal, one was Pant, not Rohit, not Kohli. So where does this team go? I mean, why this lack of common sense, Shomik? Because Rishabh Pant is your premier batter. That run, I don't care whether it is Pant. Frankly, I thought it was Pant, hesitated, then went. I did not think it was Kohli. It was always the non-striker. But whatever it is, that run out, that brain fade moment, the lack of common sense from all of us, all of our batters, I did not get that. I mean, where is this coming from? Shomik, do you have an explanation?
I mean, see, maybe the Indian team management needs to ask a question to themselves if this high octane cricket, no holds barred batting, which has been sugar coated in the name of selfless cricket, is hurting some players' natural game and making the players, taking the players out of their comfort zone. I mean, why will you go for such a sharp single on the third day when you are chasing something close to 400 in the fourth innings? You don't need to, and you are the last X factor. You are the last batsman with the X factor in this game. So why will you do that? Why will a Virat Kohli play cross-batted shots to spinners? He doesn't need to. The first innings delivery of full toss, 10 times out of 10, he would have hit it for a 4 if you would have offered a straight bat. Why would he go? Why would he? I mean, we saw it in Kanpur during the series against Bangladesh also. Why would he try to play cross-batted sweeps or slop sweeps to the spinners? Maybe Indian team needs to. This has happened to when Basball came to England. This has happened to Joe Root also. That philosophy was taking Joe Root out of his comfort zone. We saw Joe Root getting out, trying to reverse sweep Bumrah in the series against India. That was not his natural game. Is this new philosophy? Now Joe Root has made peace with himself. He has gone back to his old self, and he is scoring a mountains of runs like he does. Now Indian team management maybe have to have a relook that if then this philosophy is taking the players out of their comfort zone, preventing them playing their natural game and making them restless in the crease.
That's a very important point. Gautam Gambhir's comment that Test cricket will become boring. Does that kind of impact this as well? What Shomik just said. Important comment. What do you mean boring? Every draw, or I'm not even talking about a draw. I'm talking about every maiden over is exciting. How is it boring? Does he mean only big shots are exciting and you play 6 dot balls against six quality balls with great technique? That is boring. I don't think that's boring. Atra, your thoughts? Can you switch the microphone on? Yeah.
Yeah, see, no, I don't agree. I don't agree that Test cricket becomes boring if there is one maiden over. I rather take a counter look at this statement which says that we want high risk and high reward cricket. I mean, what does it mean? I mean, high risk at what cost? At what risk? So that is something which needs a relook. And I think these two matches, both Test matches, were lost on the first innings. The kind of lead India considered in these two matches, वहीं पे match खत्म हो गया. अभी सोचो कि बैंगलोर में it was 350, in Pune it was 103, but in the context of the game that was decisive. तो वहीं पे मैच खत्म हो गया था. उसके बाद we were playing catch up. And when we talk about this Rishabh Pant run out, it was, a very important call on part of Pant. बॉल जब विकेट के पीछे जाता है तो वो नॉन स्ट्राइकर का कॉल होता है, ये सबको पता है. तो I don't know, I don't understand why he took that chance. And coming back to your question, that Test cricket is boring if you don't score 6 runs per over, I don't agree with that. Gautam Gambhir himself said before the first match that if need be, we will back out 2 days for a draw. So वहां पे boring का सवाल कहां से आता है? So if that is if that is not boring, then less than 6 runs is also not boring. Basically, we lack the temperament, and we lost both matches in the first innings. And there was some very meek batting, I would say. I mean, it was not only good bowling; it was good bowling certainly. I mean, I forget Bangalore first innings. Those conditions were unplayable. But coming back here, first innings, having got them all out for 259. India definitely had a chance to reach a strong position, which they failed because of application error. So we can't hide behind things like high risk, high demand, comfort zone, modern cricket. Revolutionary thinking and all those things. We can't hide behind those things. Let's accept we didn't have the guts, we didn't have the application, we didn't have the temperament, and that's why we lost the series. Plain and simple. And going ahead, these are things which have to be corrected. If not, there will be trouble.
Gargi Raut, do you see a comeback in Bombay? Final question to everyone. Do you see a comeback in Bombay? Because it will just set it up for a Border Gavaskar trophy. You don't have too much time. You finish that Mumbai test, and within 15 days you play in Perth. So it's not as if you've got 2 months. You will play in Perth in 15 days' time after Mumbai. You have to get momentum back. Do you see a comeback in Mumbai?
I hope to see a comeback in Mumbai, and it's not like I've lost all hope in this team. I still believe that they have the caliber to win the test today as well. I thought this was New Zealand's match to lose. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. New Zealand was just way better than India today, and like Atreo said as well, both the matches were lost in the very first inning. So there's not much you can do in the second innings when you've made such a difference in the first innings only. But Mumbai, yes, I'm still hopeful. I think they can do it. Sarfaraz Khan, his home ground. I hope to see a lot of runs being made.
Rohit Chakraborty, same question. What's the road for the comeback?
See, I expect India to win the Bombay test. It would be a red soil pitch. There will be a bounce. Bombay pitch will have a lot more bounce than what was on offer or Bangalore. The stroke players will like to play on that. At the same time, I don't think it would count anything as regards to India's performance in Australia. I don't see this team doing well in Australia.
So he's not saying we are doing in Australia. Bhai, whoever is watching, I would say please, because we know these kind of trolls really well. This GS blog, सारे के सारे गधे बैठे हैं. तुम तो उससे भी बड़े गधे हो कि तुम आके हम तुम्हारा खुद का टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो यहाँ पे देखने के लिए. सो क्यों प्रूव करना चाहते हो कि तुम गधे हो? मत करो यार, मत करो, ऐसे मत करो. I mean, we love these trolls and we are used to such trolls. For God's sake, don't do it. Bharat, your comment. Can we come back in Mumbai?
Yeah, I expect India to come back in that test. First of all, India will have a point to prove. Secondly, if you think about the New Zealand team, they have already won the series. I guess their intensity levels would be slightly less. So if you look at that particular combination, I think India will make a comeback in Mumbai. One more point I want to add: it's not just about the red soil. In Mumbai, they mix it with a yellow soil that you get in the Western Ghats. And that is why you get that kind of bounce at the Wankhede even at occasionally.
Wankhede traditionally has always been a red soil pitch.
Yeah, it's mixed with yellow soil.
For 50 years, Wankhede has been a red soil pitch.
Yeah, let me complete it. It is said by BCCI's curator Chavan that red soil is mixed with a yellow soil. I have the proof for that, and that is why they get. That is why you see that bounce at the Wankhede.
And that's fine. Red, yellow, it's fine. But do you see a comeback happening?
Yeah, that's what I said. Expect India to make a comeback. The main reason is India will have a point to prove. Secondly, New Zealand's intensity levels will come down.
So you and I'll give Rohit the last words. Atro, do you see a comeback? Shomik says yes. Gargi says yes. Bharat says yes.
Me? Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Chances of a comeback are high. I mean, I don't rule that out. But I want to also say that हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा दिमाग खराब करते हैं ना कि रेड सॉइल है, येलो सॉइल है, ब्लैक सॉइल है, पिंक सॉइल है, ब्लू सॉइल है, वो सब छोड़ो यार. टेस्ट मैच होता है, दोनों टीम सेम पिच पे खेलता है. कौन सा सॉइल है, सॉइल का कलर क्या है, ये सब बकवास का बात है. तो वो सब दिमाग में नहीं रखना चाहिए. और जब खेलने आ रहे हो, दिल लगा के खेलो, उसके बाद देखा जाएगा. सॉइल का चिंता मत करो. That's all.
Okay, so Atre also reckons there's a comeback. Rohit, before going to Australia, Mumbai is important. For momentum, it is important. For mental stability, it's important. For fans, it's important. More importantly, for the management, it's very, very important. And from the perspective of WTC, if you have to have any chance, that test match is do or die kind of. You have to have those points. Rohit Jublan.
अल्टीमेटली आप उसे क्वालिफिकेशन देख सकते हैं. दैट्स द क्वालिफिकेशन गेम फॉर द WTC फाइनल. मतलब अगर आप ये हार जाते हैं, अगर आप मुंबई भी हार जाते हैं, देन BGT आपको फिर आप BGT जीत भी जाओ, देन ऑल्सो आपको साउथ अफ्रीका, श्रीलंका या फिर न्यूजीलैंड के भरोसे बैठना पड़ेगा. कौन क्या कर रहा है, इन सबको आपको देखना पड़ेगा. सो फॉरगेट अबाउट रोहित शर्मा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ये कह रहे हैं कि मैं BGT के बारे में नहीं सोच रहा हूँ. हो ही नहीं सकता कि आप BGT के बारे में ना सोच रहे हो, बिकॉज उसी की तैयारी के लिए तो आपने मैचेस दुलीप ट्रॉफी के अनंतपुर में करवाए. और क्या रीजन था कि आप जो दुलीप ट्रॉफी के मैचेस थे वो अनंतपुर के लिए ले गए? उसी की वजह से तो आपने लगातार बोला कि चेन्नई में हम रेड सॉइल विकेट पर खेलेंगे, यहाँ पर ब्लैक सॉइल होगा, यहाँ पर रेड सॉइल होगा. ये चेंजेस आप क्यों कर रहे हो? इसलिए तो कर रहे हो बिकॉज यू वांट टू चेक योर प्लेयर्स कि कौन कहां पर क्या कर सकता है. इसी वजह से आप लास्ट मोमेंट पे वॉशिंगटन सुंदर को लेकर आए हो, बिकॉज आपको 6 महीने पहले ये पता था कि कुलदीप यादव के साथ कुछ इश्यूज चल रहे हैं और कुलदीप यादव अपनी फिटनेस को किस तरीके से मेंटेन कर खेल रहे हैं. सब कुछ आपको पता है. ये जो मुंबई वाला मैच है, इससे पहले जो आपके सारे चेंजेस हुए हैं, आपने कल ही रात को अपनी टीम दे दी है. ये सारी चीजें लुक फॉरवर्ड टू करते हुए इसीलिए की गई हैं बिकॉज आपकी एक नजर WTC फाइनल पर है और मुंबई वाला मैच उसके लिए क्वालिफिकेशन गेम होगा. बिकॉज अगर आप मुंबई हारते हो तो जैसा मैंने कहा, फिर चीजें आपके हाथ में नहीं रहने वाली हैं. मेरे हिसाब से इनको जीतना चाहिए बिकॉज जैसा आई थिंक भरत ने कहा कि थोड़ा सा इंटेंसिटी शायद न्यूजीलैंड का नीचे चला जाए तो बेहतर होगा. लेकिन मुझे यह भी लगता है कि अगर मैट हेनरी वापस आता है और इधर से मिथ सैंटनर भी खेलता है, क्योंकि वो एक ऐसा कॉम्बिनेशन होगा जो शायद फिर इंडिया को टैकल करना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि अगेन मुंबई का विकेट भी ऐसा नहीं है कि अगेन आप नल एंड वॉइड कर दोगे, चाहे मैट हेनरी हो चाहे मिथ सैंटनर हो. अगेन ये लोग इफेक्टिव होंगे. अजाज पटेल ने पिछली बार वहां पे 10 विकेट लिए थे, हमें ये भी नहीं भूलना चाहिए एक ही इनिंग्स में. सो मैं तो ये बिल्कुल भी साइडलाइन नहीं करूंगा कि इंटेंसिटी भले ही गिर जाए, बट आई थिंक वो अटैक का पहनापन आप कैसे कम कर दोगे वो आपको देखना है. और खुद में आप कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे लाओगे. रोहित शर्मा कैसे कॉन्फिडेंस लाएंगे खुद के अंदर. हल्का सा बॉल मूव हो रहा है, उनका विकेट चला जाता है. विराट कोहली को लेकर के तो कोई भी अब प्रिडिक्ट कर दे रहा है. मुझे बड़ी हैरानी हो रही है. कोई भी बोल दे रहा है कि आज उनका सेंटर डंडे पे मार देगा बॉल, आज वो LBW हो जाएंगे. मतलब ऐसा गेसिंग गेम चल रहा है और कोई भी जीत रहा है. तो यार आप दुनिया के सबसे बड़े बैटर हो, आप ऐसे तो नहीं आउट हो सकते कि कोई भी अगर आप. और ये सबसे बड़ी बात बोले था, वन लास्ट थिंग, कि कोई भी नया बॉलर आता है और हमारे बैटर्स को खा के चला जाता है. जब मैं बच्चा था, जेसन क्रेजा से लेकर स्टीव ओकीफ, और अब बांग्लादेश में आपको लास्ट टाइम पे किसी तरीके से अश्विन और कुलदीप की पार्टनरशिप बचा रही है. ये एक ऐसा टाइमर था जो चले जा रहा था और कहीं ना कहीं से फूटना था. ये आज फूट गया है. ये आप बचते बचाते आ रहे थे. चेन्नई में आपको अश्विन और जडेजा की पार्टनरशिप ने बचा लिया. बांग्लादेश में जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, कुलदीप और अश्विन की पार्टनरशिप ने आपको वो टेस्ट मैच हारने से बचा लिया था. ऐसे न जाने कितने नाम हैं. कभी टॉम हार्टले आपको आकर खा जा रहा है, कभी कोई भी. मतलब मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि उनमें कोई दम नहीं है, बट यार आप कौन हो ये तो देखो यार. आपका नाम विराट कोहली है, एटलीस्ट अपना स्टेचर तो देखो. कोई भी एरा गैरा आकर आपको कैसे आउट कर सकता है, मेरे को नहीं समझ में आता. और आउट ही नहीं करता, आपको हराता है मैच.
So this kind of show became a bit of a fans rant and good analysis, but that's how it is. In Indian cricket, you have emotion, and that's what makes Indian cricket. I absolutely understand where Rohit Juglan is coming from. I also understand this whole red soil versus yellow soil versus black soil, and Atro's comment and Bharat's comment and Shomik's comment. I get where Gargi is coming from when she said, yes, she is hopeful, but kind of balanced it out. Ultimately, Indian cricket will create passion. So now for 4 days, it is on the players. They will not have a very good Diwali. On the players to regroup, on the players because Mumbai, unfortunately, is not a test match that you are playing, for the series win. But fortunately, with the WTC, every match now has context. It is not a dead rubber. No way. It is a rubber that will decide WTC. So it is that important a match that you will play. So one hopes that India will come back strong and India will come back to being the India that we know. Questions will keep being asked. We will put out our pieces, our videos, our analysis, our graphs, our statistics, our numbers, and we will keep probing away because that's what our job is. We are not cheerleaders. We are not emotionally connected with this team, and nor do we care. We will ask the right questions, whether you like it or not, whether anyone likes it or not, because that's our job. Thank you very much for watching. Watch our space, this space, and the website revsports.in for quality articles on what is going on in Indian cricket. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.